Live from Studio B, welcome to Rotor Talk Live, your weekly home for the latest consumer drone news, rumors, reviews, and tips. Since 2017, we've helped drone fans stay on top of what's rumored, what's flying, new specs, features, updates, and expert analysis. Hosted by Bill the Drone Reviewer and co-hosted by Ron Brown from Drone Nation, we keep you up to date on everything in the consumer drone space.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 9, Episode 25, DJI Enjoy Your Drones. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. Got a full house in here already. Let's take a look, see who's here. Gator Drone, welcome. Steve Porter. Sergeant Rock, welcome, my friend. Carlos Moran. Let's see who else we got. Dallas Hunterell, welcome. Art, welcome. See who else we got. Michael Wright, welcome. Good to see you guys tonight. Actually got quite a few things to talk about. A lot of sales going on. So we're going to be talking about that. Ron's going to be joining me here in a little bit. But just want to give you a weather update in the state of Florida here, all right? We have been under probably the better part of a week and a half, a high heat index. And this high heat index, it combines everything. It combines like the UV factor, it combines humidity, it combines the actual air temperature. In a lot of days, we've had a heat index of 110 degrees. You heard me right. And they have advised people to stay indoors between the hours of like 9 a.m. to like 5 or 6 p.m. at night because you just don't want to be out. Because, you know, the UV rays are so, you know, it's so bright right there. You can really get sunburned just by walking out, just in my short sleeve, just walking from here to the car. So you got to be real careful with your travel during these kinds of times. Also, too, we haven't had a lot of rain lately, so it is dry down here, and there is a chance of brush fires down here as well. That has been known to happen down here. So, you know, we're just more than known for like hurricanes during the latter part of the year. You know, we have this high heat index, and it's really miserable outside. Just to tell you the least. And as far as flying is concerned, the best part of the day to fly, I mean, you got to get up. If you want to fly right now, you got to do it like by 8 a.m. in the morning or like after 6 or 7 in the evening because it's just too hot out there. You really, I mean, and not only for you, but for the drones as well, too. I mean, it's just too hot. You can't really, you know, you're doing yourself a favor by following what they tell you to do. Trust me on that. And yeah, you don't want to be out in this kind of stuff. So just to let you know that, guys. All right. Yeah, got a few things. Hey, Johnny, welcome. Good to see you guys. Got a few things to talk about, you know, and I kind of titled it a little different tonight in terms of what we're looking to enjoy your drones. Got a lot of focus on some other type of drones and things right now. The first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, let me see if I can bring this up here. Okay, all right. We all know that let me go ahead and share my screen here. We all know that the Pocket 4 Pro released over in Japan. Well, the Pocket 4 Pro is going to be released in Japan on June the 29th. So that's coming up right here. So you can see that right here. This is from DJI Japan. An expanding world overflowing with stories. Osmo Pocket 4P. June 29th is the premiere. So if you're over in Japan, hey, Ray, welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Greg Pittman, welcome. So, you know, it's slowly but surely making its way out into the world. Who knows if that's something that we will see? I mean, that's, you know, TBD, I guess. I really have no idea on this one. None. So we'll see. But, you know, it's getting out there. It's going out to other countries. So, you know, so that's some good news as far as that's concerned. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew that because I know a lot of people have talked about it, compared it to the Insta360 Luna Ultra and everything, and we kind of went over that a little bit last week, but I wanted to make sure that you guys know that because there's a real possibility. There is a possibility, okay? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I said there is a possibility it might be available, that we might be able to get it here. So just FYI eye on that. And, you know, and just I'm going to do a rabbit's hole kind of thing here just for a second, digress just a little bit on that. You know, the only kind of communication protocol that the Osmo Pocket 4P has, or the Osmo Pocket 4 has, is the whenever you do a firmware update. That's it. Okay, so or or if you're using the app while you're using the Osmo Pocket 4P as well too. So okay, all right, enough said about that. Okay, all right. I had a great. By the way, I hope all you fathers had a great Father's Day on Sunday. I sure did. My beautiful, lovely wife, who we see a rendition of in the opening now, okay, she treated me to a wonderful brunch on Sunday. Thank you so much for that, sweetheart. You have no idea what it means to me, okay? As you know, Valerie and I had children before we met, all right, obviously. But, she recognizes me. She says, "You are a great father." And that meant the world to me to have her say that. I mean, seriously, guys. You have no idea what that meant to me. I mean, I even get a little teared up right now thinking about it, that she did that. And the other part that made my day was I got to talk to Ellie and Addie, our two granddaughters. And Ellie was like this. And she's what, 7? Just flapping at the jaw, just everything. And my 7-year-old granddaughter is now playing Halo on an Xbox, okay? Yeah, my daughter played it as well, and and I talked to my son-in-law, and he said this is a daddy-daughter kind of a thing. I said, doesn't mommy get in? He says, yeah, mommy will play sometimes. Well, you ought to see my daughter play on that. Okay, she's pretty doggone good with that. But be that as it may, okay, we had a wonderful talked to both my granddaughters, and the other Addie was just she's just like another one, just flapping at the jaw, just wonderful, just couldn't be better. Well, my son-in-law told me about something called X-Wing, and I don't know if any of you guys have heard of X-Wing at all, and they're a drone company here in the United States, believe it or not, all right? And they have something coming out. I think it's coming out this year, if I'm not mistaken. It could be next year, but I wanted to show it to you guys because my son-in-law told me about it, and I said, this is kind of too good to be true, and it really kind of is. But I want to show you out on their website and show you what I'm talking about here. So let me go ahead and share that. Okay, X-Wing Fighter FPV, realistic pilot experience, okay? And you can see it's, vertical takeoff and landing kind of a thing here. Immersive cockpit with FPV mode, equipped with DJI 04 Air transmission system, up to 60 minutes flight time, radar detection range up to 350 meters, vertical takeoff and landing flight capability, easily foldable for storage and travel, ready to fly, complete kit. You get everything in here. A high-speed flight up to 120 kilometers per hour, and just showing you kind of some of the things right here, and just some proof of concepts, and also some actual flight data right here. You can take a look at some of the specs on it. 117.6 degrees ultra wide camera field of view, 4K at 60 frames per second, rock steady 3.0 stabilization, 1080p at 100 frames per second live feed, which is fantastic. And you can see it goes up to 120 miles an hour. Well, my son-in-law was telling me here, these are actual functional screens when you have your goggles on, and you can actually see what's on the radar. When you increase the throttle, the lever increases. When you increase, your vertical and lateral, when you increase your lateral movement with the joystick, it moves as well too. You can see right extended 60-minute flight time with high-speed charging. Remember, you can take a look here. It's more of a, it's a vertical takeoff and landing type of system. So it's real interesting. Integrated aviation lighting system here, engineered for resilience. Unpack, power on, and fly. Here's the specifications for it. Now, it's my understanding they're not quite available yet. It's going to be made over in Kansas. They're not quite available, and from what I understand, the pricing is probably going to be around $2,000. I'm going to drop this link in the comments here, so you guys can have that if that's something that you're interested in. You may want to check this out. This is a nice alternative. This isn't, this is made in the USA kind of a thing. So a lot of people are clamoring for that, and this really kind of fits the bill. It's a little on the pricey side, but it kind of combines a lot here. It combines like regular like model airplane flying with vertical takeoff and landing, and a lot of the technology we see in use for drones today. It's really cool. Yeah, Art, that's very true. That is very true. It does remind me of the parrot swing. I agree. That's what I said when I first saw it. And I want to thank my son-in-law for telling me about this. This was great. So this is something keep in the back of your mind. I mean, it may pique your interest, and if any of you decide to get one of these, let me know, and we'll have you on the show, and we'll ask you what your experience is like on it. But again, I dropped that link in the comments. Definitely check it out. It's an American company. I can't say more than that. I mean, that looks really interesting, and you're not going to face embargoes. You're not going to face tariffs. You're not going to face any bans or anything. So it's all good to go. It's proven technology that's there. I'm sure. I don't think now. I didn't see, and I didn't go out and look on YouTube to see if there is anything on this. Ron, how are you, sir?
Good, Bill. How are you tonight?
Good. I don't know if you heard. Have you heard of the X-wing at all?
Not in the reference, probably what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. I'll bring it back up for you because I wanted you to see it. My son-in-law told me about this on Sunday when they called me to wish me a happy Father's Day. And what this is it's a vertical takeoff and landing type of system right here. And
Right. This has been around for a while. Right.
Right, something like this, but this is actually brand new. And what he
Okay.
told me was like the FPV view that you have right here, your cockpit, that these are actual functional screens right here. That
Oh.
you're actually seeing like the banking and the turning, and the actual radar does actually work here in terms of that. Now
So
you can
you're seeing
also
that through goggles, or?
yeah, that's through goggles from what he
Okay.
told me. A lot of this is proven technology. They use what did it say up here? Let me go ahead. DJI 04 Air transmission system, 60 minutes of flight time, 120 kilometers per hour. Some really good specs here as far as 1080p at 100 frames per second for a live feed, 4K at 60 frames per second for recording. It has a rock steady on it, 10 kilometers in FCC mode, maximum transmission range, standard wide shooting modes, speed from 60 to 120. I mean, this is something. I
And,
dropped
and,
the
and
link.
don't these things have longer flight time than drones do?
Yes, you can fly. I think it's set up to an hour
Right.
because of
Right.
that. And you can take a look at it like right here. You can take a look and see why. I mean, it really becomes more of an airplane than anything else. But you can go into this mode, the vertical takeoff and landing mode, and it really is kind of more as it's kind of like, almost like a drone as far as that's concerned. It's a self-contained kit. Now, from what he told me, the pricing on that is probably going to be around $2,000. And this is a U.S. Manufacturer on there in Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
So it's a win-win-win. We're all looking for things that are made here in the USA that are kind of more consumer oriented, and this is one of these things. And I was very appreciative of him telling me this. And for the price for what you're getting for this for $2,000, a self-contained unit, everything's there. You don't need anything else. And there's no, as I said, there's no embargoes, there's no tariffs, there's no bans by the FCC. This is something that's free and clear, and people can start using it right away, kind of a thing.
Right. Would this need to be licensed and broadcast remote ID?
I don't know. That's a very good question. We didn't talk about that because I don't think they classify this as a drone.
Okay.
So I think that probably gets away with that. Obviously, the weight issue, it's going to weigh a lot more than 249, 250 grams. So as far as that's concerned, but yeah, I wanted to present that option to everybody to let you guys know about it. And if any of you, like I said, if any of you go ahead and decide to purchase one, we'll definitely have you on the show. We'll talk about it and see some of your footage. See what the deal is on this. But
Yeah, these X-Wing style crafts, see, they've been around for a while now. They've never seen them really catch on, but again, these are different circumstances. I mean, the thing is, you to do work, say work like I do, real estate work, you couldn't slowly hover them around the house like you could a drone. These are more for long distance exploring.
Exactly. Now, I wanted to go ahead. The first article that I want to talk about is it's actually a review of the Potensic Atom 3, and I want to go ahead and bring that up. Now, I know it's not technically not available here in the United States, but I still wanted to cover it.
And Bill, it is sold on Amazon. It can be delivered in just a couple of days from a U.S.
Okay.
warehouse. I mean, that doesn't mean it's legal, Bill. I'm not sticking up for all. I'm just saying that it's readily available from a U.S. seller.
Okay, that's good to know, Ron. A power button moved on top, easier access to ports, better build quality, slightly bigger props. There's a new remote that comes with it as well. How it flies, it talks about that and what's not perfect.
And Bill, I believe this is the one that has a 900. What is it? Anyhow, brightness. What nits? 900 nits. So it's brighter than the RC2 controller that we all use with the DJI drones.
Okay, wow, okay. It says transmission issues persist. Some of the connection hiccups I had with the Atom 2 carried over to the Atom 3. Cinematic shots are buried in the menu. Pricing and availability, it's talking about UK and Europe. Starts at about $329 in the UK, $359 in Europe. Goes all the way up to $599 Flymore combo and $659 Flymore combo with the PDD2. It's a great beginner drone and an easy recommendation for anyone looking for their first one. The new sensor, the bigger battery, the sturdier body, and the upgraded PTT remote will add to a real upgrade over the Atom 2. So if you're just getting started, this is one of the easiest, most forgiving drones you can buy. So it's a basic entry level type of drone. It's not a bit, it is available to buy to us. Whether or not it's something that we can fly here legally is another story. So,
the question. And Bill, I believe Amazon has the Flymore combo with the smart controller for roughly like $700. So it's priced right there with the competition. Like we'll say what's the Sky Rover X1 with a smart controller. I think that goes for like somewhere in the 700s.
Right, I think it's about $799 last I looked on.
So this may be a little cheaper than Sky Rover a little bit from what I saw in that true. Amazon pricing. Bill, there's no answer to this question, but we've talked about this before. Some people say, well, it's not illegal to own a non-FCC device in the U.S., but it's illegal to sell it. Okay, well, how is Amazon selling non-approved FCC devices and not getting a phone call from the FCC? I mean, it's not like it's hidden or anything like that.
Yeah, they're not hiding the fact. I mean, this is in plain view for everybody to see. So that's a real.
Of course, I know how these things go. You call Amazon.com. Guess who you FCC call? They get handed right to Amazon's lawyers, and a company like that, they probably have a whole floor of lawyers or whatever that they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah. So and it kind of is the way it is as far as that's concerned. Well, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about, and I think you guys may have touched on it as well, is the Hubsan Mini 7. And what I did was I have two things that I want to share with you. First of all, I use ChatGPT quite a bit here. Okay, and right. What I did was I asked it to give me an overview of the Hubsan Mini 7, and it did. It did that, and it did the thing. And so what stands out? The biggest surprise is the claimed 1-inch sensor in a sub 250-gram aircraft. Pricing the Hubsan Mini 7, $999 USD. Can you fly it in the USA? Yes, with some qualifications. The drone is listed 249 grams, so no FAA registration. You still must comply with FAA recreational rules. You must obtain a trust certificate. Remote ID requirements depend on the aircraft is configured and whether it includes a compliant remote ID system. The bigger issue, U.S. support and ecosystem. This is where I'd be cautious. Official North American Hubsan presence. U.S. support address listed in California. Competitive specs on paper. Cons. Very limited U.S. dealer network. Small user community compared with DJI. Far fewer YouTube reviews and real-world flight reports. Uncertain long-term firmware support. And replacement parts and batteries can be harder to obtain, okay? And it talks about some more things here. And then I'm going to go ahead. There's another, I'm going to show you, let's see here. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to show you their website and how it appears on their website right now. So let me go ahead and share that. Now it's showing is not for sale at $999.
But that'll be for everything on the website, because I still don't believe they can sell in the U.S. under the Hubsan names. That's going to be the same thing on every single product they have.
Right. Like if you would collect on them, you can see.
Well, because remember that other guy. What was that young kid's name that got the right to sell Hubsan drones? Is another branded name in the U.S.
Right, and I know exactly what you're saying. I forget his name.
Is it Black Hawk, or I forget what name he sold the drone? He basically sold the same drones with their different names in the U.S. And as far as I know, he sold the company to somebody else, but I believe that deal is still in place. I don't believe Hubsan can sell in the U.S. under this, under their own name. So everything's going to be not for sale.
Right. So. This is kind of where that's at. I wanted to present this to you guys because I know, there are other options out there as far as drones are concerned, and I wanted to present this option. Now, we've all been bit by Hubsan. Okay, let me put it to you that way.
Yeah, and before we get lost in the weeds here, because I'll never forget to say again, when you talk about smart, not only do they have a smart controller, Bill, when we dove down, guess what? Guess how many nits are on Hubsan's smart controller?
How many?
2,000 nits. They had the same brightness supposedly as the RC Pro 2, but I know where you're going to. I know what you're thinking. Hubsan does this to us all the time. On a wakeboard, they come out with the most incredible specs, like the 1-inch sensor. They'll be the only mini drone besides the Mini 5 Pro that have a 1-inch sensor. They'll be the only smart control besides the RC2 that have 2,000 nits. They have incredible specs, but when the product actually gets here, the drones doesn't even work right.
Yeah. Well, and we all remember their infamous debut of one of their drones. I forget which one.
Well, their first mini drone, whatever they called that first mini drone.
That mini drone.
That mini drone predated the DJI Mini 3 Pro, and it had better specs.
Yeah, and we saw that. They had that live demo that was an absolute disaster, and Hubsan has really kind of gone downhill as far as that's concerned. We really haven't heard a whole lot from them as of late here, especially here in the United States. Maybe over in Asia, Southeast Asia, they may have had some popularity.
I don't even see non-Americans making many videos about them, Bill.
Yeah, there really isn't a lot out there, and that's why I would be super cautious on something like Hubsan when you see something like that, because it rings a lot of alarm bells for me as far as that's concerned. That's like to me, that's also like that FEMI alarm bell. You don't want to go there. All right, and it's kind of the same thing with Hubsan. You don't want to go there. All right, because
especially for $1,000.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, while I say that, I will also go ahead and pitch something like a Sky Rover, okay, especially with their new controller, any day over products like even the Potensic Atom 3 or over the Hubsan Mini 7, because it's reliable, it's proven technology, it's worked. There are videos out there. There are links. They do have a customer service here in North America. They do respond to inquiries. They do have extra batteries available. So, it's just not, they're just not a fly-by-night kind of a thing, all right? or have a real shaky setup here in North America. They have a real presence here. I mean, you can buy them at Best Buy. You can get them on Amazon. I think they're probably available at B&H and Adorama as well too. So I mean, it's in multiple sources you can get this. And that's why I will.
They're the easy choices. No doubt about that, Bill.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, one of the other ones.
And speaking of Sky Rover, how about the advertising blitz? Every time I turn a YouTube video on, I see the Sky Rover commercials. They are really going heavy with the advertising on social media and streaming.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you, Ron. I do see quite a bit of that as well myself. Now,
Bill, I'm going to interrupt you. Greg came up with it. Greg Pittman, EXO. That kid, that young guy, he bought the right to sell Hubsan drones in the U.S. under the brand name EXO.
Okay. Yeah, Carlos, I turned my gain up on my mic. Does that help at all? Let me know.
That's better. That's better, Bill. It is. It's better.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, my gain was a little down. I've been having to try to adjust that. So, but yeah, okay. This article right here, DJI Air 3S drops below $1,000, and that matters more than ever. Okay, so when you go out to there, and it's on Amazon, it is, I believe, $989 for the Air 3S, one battery, and the N3 controller. All right. Just
now, is that part of Amazon Prime Day?
I don't know if it's part of Amazon Prime, Ron, because the article really didn't say that. It just talked about the pricing.
Well, Bill, for $999, who would buy the Hubsan Mini 7 for $999, where you can get Air 3S for less?
Exactly. Now it talks about the other prices. The Air 3S Fly More combo with the RC N3 is $1259, normally $1399, and the Air 3S Fly More combo with the RC2 screen controller is $1439, normally $1599. Okay, and I just want to throw this out there. I still have mine for sale, and mine is currently, I only have 2 drones left for sale. I have the Flip, and I also have the Air 3S. This exact drone right here that you see for $989. I'm selling mine for $750 plus shipping, and there are details. It's pinned to my Build a Drone Reviewer Facebook group, and if you're interested, let me know, because I had selling this past week was the Neo 2 and also the Mini 5 Pro. So I only have 2 drones, extra drones left to sell. So
Bill, I know the reason why the Air 3S is going slow. Everybody I know already has it.
Mm-hmm.
It must be the most popular drone DJI's released in years.
Oh, you are 100% right on that, Ron. I mean, it's like when you run into people, everybody says, you ask them what your favorite drone. Oh, in a heartbeat, they'll say the Air 3S. I mean, and I know people that have the Mavic 4 Pro, and even, I mean, as much as you like the Mavic 4 Pro and people like it, the Air 3S. I mean, it's like a go-to all the time. I mean, the people don't hesitate to mention that at all. So yeah, so that's where that ends up coming from, as far as that's concerned. So, the next big thing that I wanted to talk about here is, let me go ahead and get the article up. All right, okay. First, there are 2 articles about it here. Okay, Antigravity. Okay, now Ron sent me something. We're going to talk about. I'm going to bring that up here in a second. I'm going to bring this article from Joan DJ up first. Let's go ahead and share that one. Okay. Antigravity's biggest A1 drone sale is almost here. All right. Discounts of up to 25% on the Antigravity A1, the world's first 8K 360 drone. All right. Let's see if it kind of cuts to the chase right here. It really doesn't talk about pricing here at all. So, I'll let you guys take a look at it. It's up to 25%.
Well, I'll give you the quick yet. I think the single combo was $1279, which I think it's been before. But one of the combos where you get the 3 batteries and most of the gear is below 1,500, like maybe even below 1,450. So that looks like, I believe that combo has never been that low before.
That's a great price for that, and also too, and you've pointed it out, and other people have pointed it out too, Ron, is the most expensive part of that is not the actual drone itself, but those goggles. Okay, those goggles probably run $600-700 in and of themselves, because they're
right.
Pretty
if they did have a standard controller, that kit would be under $1,000.
Exactly here. Okay. And I think that's why a lot of us are like, okay, anti-gravity, let's go ahead and get that standard controller with this, because I think a lot of people are clamoring for that. Now, Ron sent me this earlier too, and I wanted to go ahead and post this as well too, because this is some great additional information regarding that here. Let's go ahead and get this up here. Okay. Limited time offer, 2-year U.S. warranty protection with fast U.S.-based repair service.
We've never seen 2-year free warranty before from almost anybody in the drone game, right, Bill?
Exactly, Ron. Earn 1% rewards on orders. Each drone earns points worth at least $12. Return and refund for activated devices. 24/7 one-on-one expert support here. Okay, so I mean,
and it doesn't even cover there. Doesn't even cover there. It's a U.S. based repair facility, so you would not have to send a drone back to China or Europe. You would send it to a U.S. It may be the West Coast, but it's still, you can send it for repair in the U.S.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about this is it's right here. It's in the United States. It's backed by, it's backed by somebody here in the United States, and you don't have to go worry about customs or passing inspection or anything. It's there.
Right.
There's no issue with
here.
that. So it's already here. So I mean, this is something, and it still kind of begs the question, Ron, that when are they going to come out with a standard controller? Because I know everybody's kind of clamoring for that. I mean, really,
I wish we could get the CEO on a conference call, Bill, and explain to him how many sales he's losing because of that, not having that controller. I mean, he's losing thousands and thousands of sales because of not having that controller. And I don't understand. Are they that low budget? They couldn't assign a couple engineers, a team of engineers to get a device mocked up fast.
Yeah, I agree with something like that. I mean, it's just they had enough to get all of this together the way it was. I mean, that's been my knock, so to speak, quote unquote, since day one with this, that it was goggles only, because that really kind of limits your audience. I know a lot of people are fine with goggles, but I'm not one of them, okay? And I know Marcus has issues with goggles as well, too. And there are a lot of us out there like that just really can't fly like that.
I mean, Bill, it's to the point where they may have been wiser to get the drone out with just the standard controller first and work on the goggles later.
Yeah. That would have been the right thing to do. That would have been the right thing to do because, again, from everything that I've talked to, people that I have that owned it, as far as like the processing the software, it's very similar to that app that DJI has for the Avata 360 and processing that, running your footage through there. It's really a piece of cake. It's really not hard at all.
And some people say it's better than DJI's app.
Yeah, and I've heard that as well too. And you just easily move it over to DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro, and you're good to go. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's why I'm really anxious and excited about that, because I think that's probably the next thing for me. As far as eyeing a purchase is concerned, that is something that's very much on my radar screen. Okay, because that comes up with a standard controller. It's pretty much going to be in my in basket like right away.
Right, because we're back to what we always liked about DJI, the warranty, repair, the support, sending the product to U.S. places for repair. We're right back to where we were, 2-3 years ago with DJI.
Exactly. Well, this also, and I wanted to bring this up too. I do have a couple more articles to talk about, but this also kind of begs the question, as far as that's concerned, is that are they working on other drones? Okay. Other than just the 360 one, don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of throwing that out there. This is something they could be in the works. I mean, if they have a second drone that they're working on, and see, and I think
at first, hardly, in the first couple of months, hardly anybody I knew had a drone except people that were given a drone for review, right? But now, after 6 months, a year, now it seems like more people use their own money to buy it. So at first I said it wasn't doing well, slow sales, but now maybe that's not true anymore.
That's true. Well, you see what Phil said right here. There's been lots of rumors about an A1 stick controller, but the only thing the company has said in a press release is that the controller will come out in July. I hope so.
And
Phil.
Guess what? July's next week, Bill. July's next week.
It really is. I understand that, Eddie, But you have to realize, there are a lot of people like myself. I know Marcus as well. I know there are others who, that goggles will not work. All right, I
Yeah.
cannot physically
And let
cannot
me
do
fun,
that.
Eddie. Eddie, I don't have any numbers on this, any polls, whatever, but I don't know how many drone flyers there are in the world, U.S., whatever. I bet you, I bet you the number's higher for people that don't fly with goggles than do fly with goggles. And I have
Oh,
no
I
scientific
agree.
information based on, but I bet you the number's higher for people that don't fly with goggles than do. Uh, Johnny's saying if he has the anti-gravity, if he has the 360, why would he need anti-gravity? Well, I mean, again, Garrett has both. A lot, Phil has both. A lot of people have both. A lot of people really like 360 drones, and there are slight differences. But well, here's the question. Here's Johnny's question answered. Some people that have both because they like flying with a controller, but they also like flying with goggles. Like if you have the anti-gravity, you want to fly a 360 drone with a controller, you have to get the Avata 360.
Exactly. And
Well, where if they anti-gravity would listen to Bill and I and get the standard control out, they wouldn't have to go by the Avata 360. They could just have one drone with both controllers.
Yeah,
Goggles
exactly.
and standard controller. They'd have it all.
Exactly, Ron.
They'd be just like DJI with the Avata 360. They'd have all these means to control it. And we didn't say the advantage of the anti-gravity in the U.S. It's under 250 grams. Hobbyists would not have to register, not have to worry about remote ID or anything on it, Bill.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to having that. Plus, as we've already discussed, it's U.S. based support here. I mean, you can't beat that, because I know a lot of people are clamoring for something like that in light of what's happened with DJI. You don't have that U.S. based support. You do with anti-gravity, which is something to be said for something like that. So, I mean, I think we'll see what comes out with this. I don't know, but there's always hope as far as that's concerned. So, one of the other things that I wanted to talk about tonight, which was a real interesting article, and I mean, it's one of these ones that when it came popping up, I read it right away because I was like, okay, is this for real here? All right. FCC has some Chinese drones are suddenly safe again. All right. On a June 16th order, the FCC announced that certain foreign-made toy drones will no longer be treated as national security risks and can once again receive approvals need to enter the U.S. market. The move creates a narrow exception to the agency's December 2025 decision here. Okay. The catch, the FCC's definition of a toy drone is extraordinarily limited. To qualify, a drone must weigh no more than 150 grams, remain within line of sight at distances of 100 meters or less, have no network or connectivity capabilities, carry no camera or surveillance sensors, and offer no more than 10 minutes of flight time. Okay. I mean, Ron, where can you find toy drones like that? There aren't a lot out there. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess this is the type of drones you find on the shelf at Walmart. These little $20 drones that you
there's
buy
no
for a
camera with them. And they're basically used for a
we
week
used to
and
call
throw
the
away.
backyard flyers. They if you're lucky, can make it from one side to the other of your backyard.
Right. And you probably in 2 or 3 days or a week later, it's in the garbage can because it's not working anymore. And,
Or is it a tree or something? You never see it again. But let me ask the bigger question, Bill. How does the toy drone what do we call ourselves as the drone community? How is the toy drone community for flying little junk drones like that? How do they have more power than us in getting their drones approved? I mean,
wow, that's a $60,000 question, Ron.
Who lobbied for these little toy drones? I mean, where did this come from or whatever? The FCC just did
that's a really good question, Ron.
Somebody went in and fought hard for these toy drones. It must be money to be made in these little things, but who had enough sway with the government to have the toy drones accepted?
Well, see, and this isn't even when and I saw the article. I saw another article pop up with this, and they said toy drones, and I'm also thinking, oh, they're probably also talking about Hubsan and Holy Stone and all that. No, No, this isn't them.
They're talking about the 1999 specials at Walmart and the dollar store and whatever.
Right, right. And the little small really mini drones you can buy on Amazon for 15 or 20 bucks, and there's nothing to that. There's really, I mean, why did they do this? This is akin to, and I'm going to say this, I mean, it's like throwing a bone out there. Okay, give me. Okay, you know what, drone community, we're going to give you one here. And I'm like, what did you give us? You gave us nothing here. This is a nothing program.
Bill, most of the people that buy these type of drones, they don't even know that there's a drone ban going on anyways. They would fly those drones no matter whether this guy, because they have no idea there's any rules or regs or whatever. They just think they're buying a toy and they fly it. So I don't know how they even gain goodwill. But what they should have done, Bill, it should have been under 200. All drones are 250 grams. It doesn't matter about cameras, GPS. They should have made this for 250 gram and under drones should still be legal. Should be able to come into the country from any country.
I agree, Ron.
That would have been the give me or whatever. Now, of course, you and I wouldn't be satisfied. We still want our Mavics and our Airs, but I mean, that would appease a lot of people.
Agree with you 100%.
A lot of people, if they just said sub 250s gets an FC approved, and it doesn't matter where it comes from.
Exactly. And
I mean, as far as dangerous and whatever, how much of a payload can these mini drones fly? I know they say they use them in the war and whatever, but are there in Ukraine and whatever? Are they really bombing? The Russians, Ukraine, really bombing each other with 250 gram drones? I mean, what kind of bomb can?
No, they're going along the lines of drones that are like the size of a Mavic 4 Pro and up. Okay. So, because in order to carry any kind of a payload that's going to do any damage, you're going to need a real beefy kind of drone to do that. All right. And, it's been shown. I mean, you look back in the day. I mean, well, not even back in the day, back even a year or so ago, there's a lot of add-on modules for like an Air 3S so you can, carry a payload and release it. But it won't carry more than something that, say, like a filled up water bottle. Okay. That's it. It's not going to, because of the weight, and you're not going to be able to travel that far with it.
250 gram drones could even lift a water bottle.
Exactly. Okay. I mean, well, I do know there are some guys that use mini drones that attach like a antenna to it, ham radio guys, and will go up 100 feet in the air, and they're on the air for 15 minutes. All right, and then they land. I mean, it's just. But I mean, there's really nothing that you can do with a mini drone as far as carrying any kind of a payload. It won't do that. It cannot handle that. All right, they're not designed for that at all. So why they would even what Ron said makes a lot of sense. Under 250 grams, regardless, just to prove it. Okay. What are they going to do? They're not going to. It's not going to be a drone that is. I mean, if that drone crashes into anything, what's going to happen? The drone's going to get destroyed more often than not. Period. Okay, you may break a window. That's going to be about it with something like that. I mean,
and the funny thing about those rules for the under 150 grams, they say no cameras, right, Bill? Have you ever seen the camera quality of these cheap tool under 150 gram tools? Those camera quality is so bad. Nobody would no spy, no Russian army guy would even want to look at the drone quality. No stabilization. So the video is all over the place. It's like 320p or whatever. I mean, you could barely make out anything in the cameras.
Oh yeah, there's no sharpness. There's no crispness to it. You can hardly recognize people or trees or things outside. I mean, it's really it's bad.
It's like watching a UHF channel as a kid. It's all snowy and you can't, you got to turn the antenna, or whatever. I mean, it's that bad.
Right. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. It's just like it's a futile effort. I mean, it's going to be a losing game. You're not gonna win with something like that. So why even do something like this? Okay. They think that they're throwing everybody a bone in the drone community with this, and I mean, come on. I mean, we're a lot more technically smart than you give us credit for, FCC. I mean, really. I mean, that's
the people buying the people buying these type of drones they're allowing. They're not really part of the drone community anywhere. They're just somebody that walks in at Walmart and the kid begs them to buy this little $20 drone on the shelf.
Well, see, these are the kind of drones that you'll see like at Christmas time. All right, you'll go into Kohl's and you'll see them, you know,
well, on a little end cap or a table.
Exactly, $25. You know, get your husband or one of your children a drone, and they can experience the joy of flight, kind of a thing. You know, it's just, and it'll say all that kind of stuff.
And by Christmas Eve, it'll be 50% off that price.
Oh yeah, it's just, and they're totally pieces of junk. Totally. You're lucky, like Ron said, you get from one end of the yard to the other with things like that. So I mean,
well, you better not even take those drones outside in the wintertime. You better fly them in the basement, Bill.
Exactly here. You know, the last thing I want to finish up with, and I know we talked about this last week, and I still think it bears a little more discussion, is, you know, DJI did its own security assessment, and with that security assessment, they did not find anything to go wrong here. No evidence of hidden backdoors or unauthorized remote access mechanisms. No evidence that DJI applications transmitted data outside the United States. No viable pathways for hijacking or weaponizing the tested systems. No unexplained radio frequency emissions. No signs of supply chain tampering or unauthorized hardware modifications. Zero critical high or medium risk vulnerabilities during testing here. Okay, you know, and you know the article gets into a lot, and you guys can read it at your leisure. But you know, I kind of wanted to bring this up again from the standpoint. All right, you know, they said, okay, we're going to let you have these toy drones, which are a real joke here, but on these other drones, which company after company, security company, has not found anything on, you know, you can't have those. No, that's not going to work, because they're a national security threat. And what's a national security threat? And oh, well, that's classified. We can't tell you. Okay, but yet here's the other thing, Ron. Okay, no other country on this earth, okay, that I know of is doing something like the United States is doing as far as banning these drones. UK doesn't do it. Germany doesn't do it. France, Belgium, you know, all these other countries over there, they don't do that.
I got bad news, though. We didn't cover this on Drone Nation, but Laura and I talked about this. It looks like Canada, they're imposing new drone rules, and they strongly resemble the U.S. rules, including the road ID. And Canada's going through is proposed. And they're going through a commenting period like we did now, where you can comment on things. But Lauren said, unfortunately, you know, like the U.S. probably won't do any good. And they're going to, I don't know if they're banning foreign-made drones, but they're definitely adopting a lot of things that the FAA has done recently. So it's not a good trend.
I had heard something similar to that as well too, and you know, it's just sad. I mean, I feel for Lauren, because he's enjoyed being able to fly his drones and, you know, not have to worry about these ridiculous rules, and now they're coming up to Canada. I mean, I'm
sure the lobbyists and people like that are trying to stop the U.S. They probably want all North America blocked from having these drones.
Exactly. And, you know, the whole thing about this, I mean, this is such a national security threat, okay, and it's classified, but yet, you know, you let things like iPhones come in from China, you let things like ham radios come in from China.
Somebody said everything else in their house is from China, like everything but the drone, everything in their house is made in China.
Routers come from China. You know, talk about a security concern. An internet router. I mean, seriously, there's a gateway to your whole network. All right there through the internet. You know, that's not a national security concern.
Check all your kitchen appliances and stoves, ovens, all that. Check where that's made.
Oh yeah. They're almost all made over in China, and you know, a lot of them, you know, they're not a national security threat. I mean, how do we know that they don't have modules that pass data back
hey,
to, you know?
I don't have them, but they got smart refrigerators now and smart ovens and so on. So yeah, these things have computers in them now, Bill.
Yeah, well, my refrigerator ain't too smart, because we're going on. I purchased a protection plan when we moved into our house in 2021, and it's like $25 a month. It's through Assurian, and we have all GE appliances. Ron, they have been out 5 times on my refrigerator. They've replaced the compressor 4 times on it. Okay, the air temperature inside the refrigerator is at 50 degrees, 50, should be at 38. The temperature in the freezer is at 30 degrees. It should be around 0. And what we did was we ended up buying one of those smaller refrigerators. We got one delivered from Home Depot yesterday, got it set up, and got a lot of our stuff in there. And we have a big chest freezer over there. But our refrigerator is basically totally worthless, okay? Just a piece of junk. And I'm going to try to file a claim to see if I can get it replaced under lemon law. But that's the gist of something like that, okay? You know, this stuff, you think it's quality, and oh yeah, it's made in the United States, okay? And I said, well, you know what? You got a long ways to go, all right? Because it's a piece of crap. It really is. And we had them out on the dishwasher, and we also had them out on the microwave too. All GE appliances, all right? Which I strongly support U.S. companies, Ron. I don't bat an eyelash about that.
Hey, I don't like to hear that, Bill, because guess what? Susan, we just upgraded the oven, the stovetop, and the microwave, all GE. And the sales guy pushed GE hard on the show on the sales room floor. Susan didn't want GE because we had problems that occur in GE, but he pushed him real hard.
I hope you got an extended warranty with it, or you can get one. You know, Asurion offers them. I pay literally $25 a month, Ron. They've replaced the door on the microwave. They've replaced both the racks in the dishwasher and one of the arms in the dishwasher. You know, I'm real impressed. They've replaced 3 compressors in the refrigerator as well too. I mean, $25 a month. That's it. Is all I pay through Asurion. So you may want to. I'll send you a link. I'll email that to you from Asurion. I think anybody can sign up for it, and it's $25 a month. It really, it's a great deal. And
luckily, we got the dishwasher from KitchenAid.
Yeah, KitchenAid is that's a brand you don't want to mess around with. I mean,
I'm just joking or whatever, but
no, I know what you're saying here.
Dishwashers usually last longer than fridges or whatever. But
but
hey, Bill, got time for a little show and tell?
Yes.
Well, I think we talked. Did we talk? I don't know if we talked on the show or after the show last week. I put a little order in through our good friend Evelyn Chan over there in Shenzhen, China. She's kind of a DJI go-to person over there, and I ordered two items, and they came yesterday.
Wow!
I got this is the E-Fill. Did we talk about this on the show, or did we talk about this?
I think we did. Yeah, I think we did talk about that.
And this is, you know what this is? This is the replacement lens for the DJI Avata 360. I thought I told her they ordered 2 of them, but I only got one, so I guess I'll have to order another one sometime. But you know, I got the Mavic 4 Pro out, put the E-filter on today. It worked perfectly. Now it is heavy, much heavier than a regular filter. So I did, as soon as I put on, the camera did dip down, but it didn't hurt the, what do you call the process where it starts up and the gimbal goes through its kind of test. You
right.
know, gimbal test. It didn't harm the gimbal test at all. Once it went through the gimbal test, it stood straight as a rock up or whatever, and I could go in and you know, it was making adjustments on the fly. Like I was inside up to the 4, but I could change anything I want to, and you know, it worked perfectly right out of the box. Now I do have a thing to tell you. I hadn't had my Mavic 4 out for a couple weeks, right? So I got out, and not only had an update for the drone, but the RC2 Pro also got a firmware update, and the Fly app also got a firmware update. Now these could have been older updates, but I'm just saying I got, because I hadn't updated all this stuff maybe in 3 weeks, whatever. But the Fly app update indicated that for the Neo 2, the Neo 2 got two new features.
Oh wow!
Now, of course, I didn't have the Neo 2 app, but the Fly app, that was the change log for the Fly app that it added 2 new features for the DJI Neo. But anyhow, so I've got my for the Mavic 4 Pro, most of it just said bug fixes and things like that. It didn't add any new features or anything like that.
Okay, so for the I got a question for you about the filters, Ron. When you put those on, all right, and you're flying, do they come in automatically, or you got to do adjust settings?
Okay, now it can be fully automatic. So it on the screen, it shows right near the camera settings at the bottom, a new thing pops up, and it says like E-filter, and tells you what it's on. Like it's on 4. Is that on 4 indoors? It was on 4 because, you know, it's dark indoors. But you know, then that indicator would change. So if it went to 8, it would tell you it was 8 or whatever. But when you put on, it's fully automatic. So it just adjusts to the ND you think it should be on. So if you have, say you have say you want to dial in 4K video, you want to dial in 30 frames per second. So you want to double your shutter so you get that 180 roll. So you put your shutter at 60, and it's going to figure out what it needs to be at, so your video won't be overexposed or exposed because you're doing that. It'll just dial in and
okay.
go
Wow.
all the way up to 64. So 64 is dark enough that probably it's going to, even in bright sunlight, it's probably going to be able to dark enough that you'll be able to shoot. You'll be able to double your frame rate.
That's cool. 30, I like that, Ron. I really do. I think that's fantastic.
But the difference is from a regular filter is, you have an ND4, you have an ND8, an ND16, so down the line. This doesn't have any hard stops. So if it needs to be on ND9, it'll be on ND9, or if it needs to be on ND21, it'll be ND21. It doesn't have to hard stop at what the regular filters are, so it can be more precise.
I like that.
Now you can override it, Bill. If you disagree with what it's setting the ND at automatically, you can go in there and remove the auto button. How you have the auto buttons on your ISO and shutter and all that, and in the advanced settings, you could go in and you can turn the auto off, and then you can adjust it on your own if you think it needs to be on a different ND than what it is. But the advantage of something like this, Bill, is when, say, you're out flying, like doing, all of us, but a Marcus Crawford play where he's flying one direction into the sun, he's flying another direction away from the sun. Well, he would need two different ND filters because it's a whole different thing if you're flying toward the sun or away from the sun. You have to bring the drone down, change the ND filter. With this electronic ND filter, if you're flying towards the light, it'll take care of it. And when you fly away from the light, and it's not so bright anymore, it'll readjust on the fly. So you'll always be in the right ND filter, no matter whether you're flying towards the sun or away from the sun. Or if you're up there on a sunny day, if you say you take, how things can change quickly. So you take off, you're flying for 5 or 10 minutes. It's sunny as could be. Well, then all of a sudden this big black cloud comes out of nowhere or whatever, and it just takes the sun totally away. Well, you can keep on flying because it'll just adjust the ND back down again for being kind of dark.
That's fantastic. Now, how much did you pay for it?
Okay, Evelyn charged $269 for it, but I guess she ran short of them. Now she still had it as of a couple of days ago, but she raised the price to $329, so she added $60 to the price.
Okay.
And now, of course, these have never been sold by DJI, officially. So who knows what the price would have been if they would have sold officially. They never officially sold the product. Of course, it's appeared on eBay before. I don't know if it's ever been on Amazon, but it has been on eBay from time to time in limited quality. So I guess Evelyn could just set the price by demand because, again, there is no retail suggested price on it because it never was released as a retail product. Most of the people that got the Mavic 4 Pro early to do reviews got this, but they were told not to show it, and then so the people wouldn't ask why they didn't get it. But remember Tanya Gale, who had this at the
meetup.
Drone meetup. She ordered from the same Japanese company sold Marcus I'm having for birds. It just showed up in the box. So I don't know if it was in there by mistake or whatever, but it was just in there.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Now the only downside is I didn't get to fly today because it rained all day today. But it's much heavier than a regular filter, and it's much heavier than the cap that's on the thing. So people say if you're flying real fast in the headwind, it'll push the gimbal down.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because of the weight on it, I'm not saying it'll always do it, but if you're flying the right wind, the right headwind, you're flying real fast, it could possibly push the gimbal down on it. So that's
you
the
would need to be careful of your speed with something like that.
Yeah. Now, if you're flying on a normal non-windy day, it's probably not.
You should be fine. You should be fine.
But okay, so you remember this? You remember pretty breezy the day of the meetup, right? At Desert Beach Calls.
Right.
Tanya never had an issue flying around that day.
With that, okay, wow, that's great.
With the filter on, she never had an issue. So it wasn't too windy that day for her, or maybe she didn't fly fast enough into the headwind. But that's the potential downside to it. Now, I think Lon did mention that when you get up to about 64. He saw a little color banding in it. And what color banding is, this, of course, just like a, what do you call it, the filters where you could turn them around, variable ND filters. I guess this in some ways is a variable. So anytime you have glass on top of multiple glass on top of glass, that could possibly cause the color banding. But Lon reported he did not see that at the low, say at the more common ones like you were ND8, ND16, ND32. He only saw it at the highest 164, which again, you may not be on that much.
Okay, now here's another question. I mean, is this something that you take on and off each time you fly, or you can leave it on, or how would you handle that?
You can leave it on. You can easily get the gimbal cover over it.
Okay, the gimbal cover will work over it.
I mean, what do you call it? I mean, the what do they call that? The brow or whatever. You know, the whole attachment. It'll easily fit over top of this. Now, I only took it off just for the fact that you know, if I popped it, I mean, I should have left them, but I just popped off. I didn't know because I just thought, well, the weight of it all in there. I'm just going to not have it on when I'm packing the drone away. But as soon as I get the drone out in the field, I'm going to pop it on every single time. Unless the rest is a very windy day, I'm going to pop it on every time because it's a no-brainer. You put on, you don't think about it again.
You don't have to even think. I love that, Ron. That sounds absolutely fantastic. You know, I think for me, I want to also look too, you know, whenever I would travel with a drone, say, you know, with the Mavic 4 Pro, and want to take that along, maybe looking on Amazon to get like a small case or something like that to put inside the larger case.
Oh, wait a minute. It comes with, the box is empty. I have it in the, I don't have it handy. It comes with the nicest case you've ever seen. It comes in its own, it comes in its own, hold on. Talk for a minute. I'll go grab it.
Okay.
It's closet here.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's something I think is absolutely fantastic, is having the ability to have that filter come on automatically for you is just stellar. You can't really pass up something like that. I think that's great. I mean, it just and that should sell. It should sell real well. I think that should be something that's real. Look at that. That's fantastic, Ron. That is absolutely fantastic.
So it has like the, you know, like it's a jewel case type of thing. It's hard for me to show it here, but it has a real nice, you know, solid like locking thing. In fact, I can't even, it locks so good I can't even keep it on camera and unlock it. But I mean, it's not going to fall out. Okay, so
that's fantastic. There it is. Wow.
It comes with the you know, nice clean cloth. But look at this here. It comes with slots for, looks like four SD micro cards or whatever the type of drone, and it looks like two more up here, and you can put one of those card reader things in it too.
Wow, I mean that's fantastic.
How 6 micro SD cards and a card reader, and again, it's hard to get this stuff out within the case. So it's even real secure here. It's like it's hard to pull it out here. You know.
Wow.
And do I have it right side up here? This way.
Wow.
So you can see where it says, I don't know what that H means, but of course it's reversed because of the, you know, thing. But it says like it goes from 4 to 64. It goes backwards. I don't know if I can.
That's fantastic, Ron. I absolutely love that.
You know, and it says EE filter there, and now you see it has the bottom and the top, but on the back, you can see it has it's just one big thing.
Oh, okay.
But of course, the camera has 3 lenses on it. So I guess both the zooms come to the top. I don't know. But here's the nice thing, Bill. We didn't talk about this either. So, you know, of course, the Mavic 4 Pro has 3 cameras on it. Well,
right.
You know, 3 will sell split ND filters because the zoom cameras are like 2.8 apertures. They don't let as much light in, so they don't need as much filtering as the 1.8 inch, you know, main big sensor. But with this thing, it doesn't matter. It'll figure out what the other cameras need or whatever for you. You know what I mean? So if you go from the main camera to the zoom cameras, it'll readjust for that, whatever they need to be at.
That's fantastic.
On their own, you know what I mean? You don't have to worry about split ND filters or anything like that. It's just gonna adjust because here's what I didn't show you. See this pin. See the gold pin over here?
Right.
It's 6 connectors inside. When you take the cap off the camera, there's 6 pins there, so they just line up. So this is part of the operating system that the brains of the drone control this filter once those 6 pins connect.
That's fantastic, Ron. That is absolutely
it plugs in. It's just like it's another component of the drone. It
becomes part of the drone
and tells it what to do.
Wow, that technology is just absolutely crazy. From when we first came out with ND filters and having to switch them all the time to now we have one that'll automatically switch for you. I mean, on the fly.
It's almost like Freewell or somebody begged them not to release this thing. You're gonna put it out of business.
Yeah, exactly. So, any thoughts to close here, Ron, before we wrap things up?
So you can't get a nicer case than that.
That case is fantastic. That is so nice. That really is.
Yeah, I thought it's just that Bill, I didn't scour Amazon Prime too good. I do know that the Neo one's on sale, I believe, for $159, but I think it's been that low before, so I don't think that's the best price ever. And the Antigravity, that one, a couple of deals may be a little bit sharper than they've ever been, but they're still not like that much lower than we've seen them before. So
yeah.
So I mean, there's deals there, but I don't think these deals are once in a lifetime, or you're never going to see these deals again. And I'm going to say, for you and I haven't purchased the Antigravity, I think, I hate to go lose all summer and fall, but I think we hang tight until like around, say Black Friday and whatever, we'll see better deals than there is now.
Oh, I agree with you. 100%.
And hopefully by that time the controller's out. But even if you wanted the goggles or whatever, I bet you'll see a sharper deal Black Friday.
I do too. I think if you'll wait, I think you'll be able to pick one of those up at a really good price. That's a real good point. I mean, we covered a lot of ground tonight. It was real. We had passed a lot of information out to you guys, and I'm real thankful for Ron doing some show and tell with that Mavic 4 filter. I mean, that's just fantastic. And guys.
And Bill, I'll give further reporting once I've actually got to test it in flight.
Yeah, and Ron will definitely be doing a review on that, so you definitely want to catch up on that. But from everything that I've seen and heard, that's going to be in my column, my purchase column as well too. Eddie, Ron did say right now, I think they're $329 from Evelyn.
Yeah, from Evelyn. I don't know about anybody else. Yeah,
but that seems to be the going rate for that.
And Eddie said the H is for the Hasselblad logo. That makes sense, Eddie. Thanks.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. So, all right, guys, going to wrap things up here. Want to thank you guys so much for stopping by tonight. As always, guys, remember it's a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.